I'll call this meeting of the Urbana Public Television Commission to order.
Great, thank you. We'll go ahead with the roll call. Commissioner Folk, Commissioner Polk, Commissioner Fuller, Commissioner Schultz.
Here.
Commissioner Inskeep.
Here.
Commissioner Sender.
Here.
All right, we do not have a quorum right now. We have 3 of our 6 appointed members, so we won't approve minutes, but we'll go ahead and move along the agenda.
Okay. Do we have any correspondence?
We did not receive any correspondence.
Okay, then we'll move along to the staff report.
All right, I will share my screen here. And I did get a note here from Commissioner Folk that he will be joining us shortly. All right, the Comcast franchise agreement passed unanimously through the City Council in late December 2020. If you remember at our last meeting where we all met in December, we kind of gave you a brief rundown of what that document was and what that agreement meant for the city of Urbana and more specifically for UPTV. This is the agreement that grants the city the use of cable channels on Comcast system for public education and government access programming. It also allows the city to collect a PEG fee, which is used to purchase equipment for UPTV. So that agreement was approved in December and then put in place and effective beginning January of this calendar year. Elizabeth Hess and Julie Pride received the Significant Community Program Award at the Best of the Midwest Media Fest for their interview series on COVID-19. This festival recognizes the best television programs from the Midwest region. It is hosted by the Alliance for Community Media and Wisconsin Community Media. Nathan DeHaan, Brendan Jones, Jake Hassan, and Alex Aguilera also received an award at the fest for their work on WPGU's Illini Drive. This was mentioned in both Smile Politely and the News Gazette. So congratulations to all those who won the awards at the Best of the Midwest Media Fest, and glad that they were able to get some recognition not only at the festival and on UPTV, but also the local media outlets as well. CUI's TV premiered on April 1st. This series provides engaging content for older adults. Yesterday's episode included a cooking segment and an instructional video on acrylic painting. Next week, we'll provide a garden walk and a segment on bees. I'll go ahead and play you a clip from yesterday's episode, which featured the acrylic painting.
And I am using acrylic paints. Acrylic paints tend to dry a little bit faster, which is good, so that if you're wanting to add any darkness or any highlights to it, it will not affect your painting at all. It'll be able to add those in very smoothly, very subtly. And I'm using kind of not necessarily a smaller brush, but more of a medium-sized brush to cover this area. You can use a larger one if you're a little more impatient than I am, or a smaller one if you're just a little bit more particular.
Mark in the Park has resumed production. This interview series provides great information on the Urbana Park District's programs and activities. The Park District has recently stepped up their production game by purchasing mobile gear, and it is now truly Mark in the Park rather than it was Mark in the UPTV studio talking about the parks. So it's really, I think, given the ambiance of being in the park as they talked about the Urbana Park District. The first 2 episodes since returning focus on the renovation work at Blair Park. If you've driven past there, that is now underway. And the upcoming Power of the Parks 5K. I'll play a clip here of Mark talking with Andy.
Now, there's one play feature that you're going to add, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of it. It's a unique name, and it's a unique game. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's a practice board, and it's interactive with technology. And
What's its name?
Sutu wall.
Sutu.
Yes.
Okay.
And what it has is interactive boards that light up based on whether you hit a tennis ball with it, a soccer ball, kick it against it, and there's different games that you can set on the board and play. And it even has connectivity where you can play against and compete against other people's scores around the world. And we actually have a video I think we can share as well on that.
All right, we'll be showing that. That will go into the park, and we are excited about that.
So that looks like a really cool feature for Urbana residents and visitors to enjoy at Blair Park. Art Now has also returned to its regular production schedule as things begin to open up and we're getting back into the regular flow of things. This series is produced in coordination with the Urbana Arts and Culture program. It features short 15-minute documentaries on local artists. Recent episodes include a feature on creative multimedia technologist Jake Metz and martial artist Namsu Hyong. These are being produced by UPTV production assistant Barema Radrago. Here's a clip from a recent episode of Art Now.
At the end of a class, I ask them if they follow the instruction. And when they say yes, did they pay attention? They said yes. Then usually I go 1, 2, 3. Then everybody goes, I am awesome. So it's 1, 2, 3, I am awesome. 1, 2, 3, I am awesome. You are awesome. We are awesome. So we try to create positive energy in the classroom. Also, system is constantly rewarding what they have done, and we needed to be recognized what they did it.
We were busy in the schools this last month. It was nice to be back on a more regular basis in the schools after the past year away. We covered 2 softball games at Urbana High School. I will also take this opportunity to congratulate the Urbana High School softball team. They are regional champions for the first time since 1987. And to make it even sweeter, they defeated crosstown rivals Champaign Central and went on the road and defeated Champaign Centennial in the postseason. We weren't able to cover either one of those postseason games, but here's a clip from the first game that we covered this season against Danville.
And gets a hold of that one. It is ripped into left field, and it gets down. 1 run will score. Abby Brown comes across the plate, and the Tigers retake the lead. It's a 2-1 ball game now in the bottom of the 5th. And Ava gets an RBI double out of it.
We produced video for the Urbana Middle School Jazz and Concert Band performances on May 18th. This is kind of a new added feature. I think over the last 14 years that I've been here, we've only done 1 or 2 concerts from the middle school or high school. It was so long ago, I think it might have been a high school band that we previously covered, but we streamed this live on YouTube and aired later on UPTV. We also produced video for the Urbana High School Jazz Band concert on May 21st. Here is a clip from the concert band from Urbana Middle School. UPTV's most popular Facebook post was the video of the mayoral proclamation and pride flag raising. That's actually just from this past Monday. It reached 959 people. Our highest viewed, let me move ahead here. Our highest viewed YouTube video was the live stream of Urbana High School graduation ceremony at 1,782 views. In addition to streaming the Urbana High School graduation this year, we also streamed all 3 Urbana Middle School promotion ceremonies. Normally there's only one promotion ceremony, but they were indoors, and due to COVID restrictions, they divided those up into 3 separate ceremonies. We're happy to provide that service. You know, this continues to be one of our most appreciated productions of the year, both the Urbana High School commencement ceremony and the 8th grade promotion ceremony. I want to thank Urbana School District 116 Chief Information Officer John Gutzmer and his team for their help in coordinating these productions. Looking at Twitter, our most popular tweet was the announcement of Illini Drive receiving a regional media award. This was actually our most popular tweet ever. It reached over 11,000 people. I'm gonna stop sharing right now. I still have a little bit more of staff report to move on, but I'm going to go ahead and promote Chair Peter Folk to the panel as well, since he has joined us a few minutes ago. I do want to take this opportunity as we get closer to reopening city facilities to thank all of our producers who have continued to provide content over the past year. Even though it was a little bit different and a little bit challenging, we certainly appreciate that as we continue to offer a wide range of programming despite the challenges that we faced over the past year. All of our church programs, the pro wrestling program produced by Stephen Lucas, and specifically Donna Jones and David Monk, who Zoomed in, and that, you know, Barema recorded them on Zoom each and every week. And they're continuing to do that for the time being. But a big thank you to all of them for keeping the content coming amongst everything else that was going on in the world and in their lives. One other thing that I want to mention is I'd like to promote the CU Try Show. This is produced by the CU Trauma and Resiliency Initiative. It'll actually be live today at 3 p.m. on our Facebook page. Karen Sims will be talking with Hittin' Homeboys Justin Michael Hendricks. So that's 3 p.m. today on UPTV's Facebook page. And Karen is just tremendous at bringing in all sorts of different community members for this interview series that she does. And always keeps it forward moving, and it's a real delight. They always discuss good topics, but even if it weren't a good topic, I think I would still enjoy just the art of interview and how she's able to keep it going for a full hour and leave you wanting more after the full hour. She does a really nice job on that. One other thing I want to mention, or a couple things, I suppose. I'm currently serving on the conference planning committee for the upcoming Alliance for Community Media Midwest Region Conference in October. This conference will be held in person in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The committee consists of a group of individuals such as myself from media centers throughout the Midwest. I have gone and attended this conference many years, but I haven't been on the planning committee, so it's kind of neat to see that challenge and get involved on the back end of things rather than just enjoying all the fun that happens at the conference. I'll try to create the fun learning environment that has been there in the years past. I've also been asked to present at the Alliance for Community Media's National Conference later this month. This conference will be held remotely. I'm on a panel discussion, low budget hacks to improve your media center. So certainly when we talk about the national ACM and all the different organizations that encompasses, not only will I be, you know, promoting UPTV to a large number of my peers, but we're definitely on the low budget side of things when you think of Manhattan Neighborhood Network and things of that nature. So I think that's one of the reasons that I was asked to be on this panel. Certainly our budget fits the low budget portion, but also just I've been very active in the ACM and the national scene over the last several years. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, that's at the end of this month. That's all I had for staff report. I assume at this time Chair Folk will want to take over the chair from Dale Sender.
I can, or I can, or Dale's, if Dale knows where we're at, then he can keep going.
Go right ahead, Peter. We're going to go back and approve the minutes and then on to audience participation.
All right, sounds good. Then I guess, do we have any suggested changes to the minutes from December 11th, 2020? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Move approval of minutes of December 11th, 2020.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Since this is on Zoom, we actually have to do a roll call for all the votes. So let me call the roll first. Commissioner Schultz,
Aye.
Commissioner Inskeep,
Aye.
Commissioner Sender,
Aye.
and Chair Folk.
Aye.
All right, and before we move on to audience participation, I do want to mention one other thing under staff report. This past Monday, Marie Polk, Peter Folk, Dale Sender, and Mark Schultz were reappointed to the UPTV Commission. The City Council passed that, and that will be for terms ending June 30th, 2024. This past Tuesday at the Urbana Free Library Board, Sarah Bennett was approved to be the Urbana Free Library's representative on the UPTV Commission. So first, a welcome to Sarah Bennett, and secondly, thank you for Carol Inskeep for all of her years. I don't know the exact number, Carol, but I know you've been serving prior to my time here at the city as the Urbana Free Library representative. I guess I would invite each of you to say a few words. Just for clarification, Sarah Bennett, although appointed, her term won't start until July 1st. So if there's any urgent matters in the next 20 days, Carol Inskeep is still on the hook.
Well, I'm just going to say I really, really have appreciated being the library rep on this. I believe 100% in UPTV and appreciate very much what the staff and community do to keep that station vibrant. So it's been, I've really appreciated being part of it. Thank you. And I'm happy to welcome Sarah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for all your work on the commission over the years, Carol. And Sarah, do you want to give a little introduction for yourself? Tell us what you do at the library.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am one of the archives librarians in the Champaign County Historical Archives, which is one of the departments in the Urbana Free Library. I've been here since October, so starting to get the lay of the land, and I'm excited to get involved.
Excellent.
Right, awesome. Welcome.
And that's all I had for staff report, Chair Folk.
All right. Then moving on to audience participation. Do we have any? Is there? How does audience show up in this?
Yeah, so our Zoom information is published. So if audience, a member of the public wanted to come and attend, they could, and we would let them in if they raise their hand through Zoom. Currently, there are no members of the public on this Zoom session, so we don't have any audience participation.
All right, moving on to unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business?
We do not.
All right. New business. What is on the plate about the budget?
Right. So I will, well, I guess I'll share my screen again for part B of that, the capital equipment purchase plan update. But as far as fiscal year 2022 budget staff concerns, we'll retain the same staffing levels that we had this year. So we'll have one full-time station manager and myself. We'll have an 18-hour-a-week production assistant in Barema Rodrigo. And then we have 3 part-time camera operators in Andrew Wayner, Brianna Gaspar, and we currently have 1 vacancy that we're looking to fill for camera operator. But those are the same staff positions that we had this year. We're hoping the workload's a little bit easier. The pandemic has been particularly challenging on time management with city meetings. So we're hoping that that lessens the workload, and we're able to ramp back up all the programs that we previously had and continue to build UPTV into what we want it to be, which is a thriving community media center. I did put in a request for an additional 18-hour a week production assistant. My hopes with that position were the same hopes that I had last year when I put in the same request, that Barema would focus primarily on public access 18 hours a week, and then the additional production assistant position would focus primarily on government/education access for 18 hours a week. However, that request did not get fulfilled again this year. So Barema and I will kind of be sharing the duties of those additional government access productions as well as education access productions. So that's the only update that I have for fiscal year 2022 budget. I will talk a little bit about the equipment plan next year on the next agenda item, which is the capital equipment purchase plan update.
All right, then moving on to the capital equipment purchase plan update. Go for it.
All right. All right, I've shared my screen here again. Let me get to where I need to be. So if you remember, I think it was last June, but sometime last year, previously what I did was provide you an update each time that we met on the equipment purchase the last quarter. What I suggested, since I knew that we were putting in this capital, this long-term capital equipment purchase plan, is that once a year I would bring you the planned purchases for the next fiscal year, and at the same time I would let you know if anything changed during that fiscal year. Normally we don't see a lot of changes. What we plan to purchase is pretty much what we purchase as far as overall equipment. However, this past year, since we entered a new franchise agreement with Comcast, how we're able to purchase that equipment through the PEG fee, and we had a fund balance. So before we started the new franchise agreement, we needed to spend the current fund balance of the, at the time, 2% PEG fee. So we went to the city council and they approved a budget amendment for us to spend the fund balance in the equipment line item. So what you see before you is what we have purchased this fiscal year, 2021. It's not all installed. It's actually not all delivered. It's all the POs haven't even been filled out. But as of June 30th, that is the plan for everything to be purchased. Electronics broadcast server. That's the broadcast server that keeps UPTV running 24/7, 365. It's how we schedule all the programs to run, and the estimated price of that is $20,000. These estimates were given at the time that we presented to council. That's the manufacturer's suggested retail price. I will say the electronics broadcast server, that PO is, the RFP went out, the PO has already been sent in, and it was $15,000. So we did actually save $5,000 on that purchase. Second thing on the list, I'm very excited about once we get it ordered and installed. It's a closed captioning server. So UPTV currently doesn't, closed captioning is not available for our viewers. With this artificial intelligence server, it will now be available for our viewers. So anyone with hearing impairment or any sort of hearing disability, they'll be able to turn on their closed captioning on their television system, and they will be able to see what everyone else is hearing. And I've seen a couple of these systems demoed at ACM conferences the past few years. It's just amazing how much technology has improved. We originally looked at this, probably 8 or 9 years ago, closed captioning on UPTV. And at that time, it was still a person that you would pay per hour, send them the audio, they would type everything out and send it back. While paying a person per hour, I think it ended up somewhere along the lines of $800,000 a year. And certainly the city, could not commit to that price. But with artificial intelligence, this is a one-time cost, an estimated price of $60,000. and it has a 95% accuracy rate. So it's really neat to see in person the times that I've seen it at the ACM conference, and it will really add to our programming and hopefully make UPTV and city meetings and public access shows available to a wider audience. The hearing assist system that you see there for $1,000 just came in the other day. I haven't installed it yet, but it is for the council chambers. So if anyone, again, has any trouble hearing, this will give them a direct wireless feed. It's just a headset that they will put into their ear, and they'll be able to better hear the council meeting or any board or commission or any public access show that's going on in the council chambers. The NewTek TriCaster 460 is our video production switcher for the council chambers. We still need to get that ordered. DSLR camera will be used for staff purposes. This will, I'm working with Barema now. He's already sent me his wish list. So we're working to get him a suitable camera for all of his skills that he has. Boom microphone will be available, and then also public seating for our council chambers. Those seats are well past due. So those are the changes in the current fiscal year that we'll be purchasing, and all those will be purchased by June 30th. And I can certainly provide you any sort of update at our next scheduled meeting, September, as far as final prices and what we spent this fiscal year, everything along those lines. I also want to take this opportunity to look ahead towards next year. We have a 10-year equipment replacement plan that coincides with our Comcast franchise agreement. It's estimated we will bring in $41,000 a year at the 0.75% PEG fee. So what you see before you is the equipment that is planned to purchase next year, beginning July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. And this is included in this year's city budget that'll be approved by council later this month. There's a list there. I won't go over every item. I'll note that a new camera system for school board meetings, and then anything else that we would need a robotic camera system for, as well as a production switcher, two of the larger items on the list. Also, we're getting new studio cameras that'll be used in our mini studio here at City Hall. So that's all I have for you as far as the capital equipment purchase plan update. I'd be happy to answer any questions about any of that, or if any questions have arisen from the staff report as well.
Go for it, Mark.
Quick question about the closed caption. Is there some type of subscription service? Is that a reoccurring cost?
So it is not a subscription service. It is a server. You will pay, that one-time fee. However, there are updates, and you can choose whether you want to receive those updates every year or not. Some of the professionals that I've talked to say, hey, you don't need those updates every year. I think the software updates run about $5,000 a piece. And we'll address those in future years as well. But thankfully, it's not a subscription service. That's one thing that just kills us, is when I mentioned the $800,000 figure of a person. Obviously, any subscription is not going to be that price. But those are the one things that makes our budget really tough, is when we can keep having those subscription services. So happy to report, artificial intelligence system. The only maintenance that it'll need is the software upgrades.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing regarding your staff report, my compliments to the audio quality of that middle school concert. That was some quality audio, and I've been trying to record outside. I know how tricky it can be with just the slightest puff of wind, so good job.
Well, I thank you. I tell you what, the forecast was rain all day on that Tuesday, and I contacted them the day before and said, hey, if it rains, is it just canceled? They said, oh, okay, we'll move inside. I woke up that morning and it continued to show rain all day. And I said, okay, they said they'd let me know by 3. And I was like, well, it's going to rain all day, didn't look at the weather again. And then they emailed me at 3 and they said, we're going to try to do it. And I thought, oh no. I didn't want to be, have all the audio visual equipment out there in the rain. And as I was setting up during the 5 o'clock hour, it was a hard sprinkle the whole time, and I was a little worried. But then, just before they were getting ready to play, everything opened up and it was a beautiful evening, and there was a little bit of wind, but, we didn't do anything fancy with the audio, that those were some Shure 57 microphones strategically placed. And yeah, I agree. It sounded great. I was very happy with the audio quality. I'm glad that you appreciated that, Mark.
Thank you.
I also had a question about the closed captioning server. Will
Yeah.
that also closed caption the user-generated content? And if so, and I guess both for the city content and the user-generated content, will it also closed caption it for YouTube when you put the stuff up there?
So it is a live closed captioning system that will be for our traditional cable television channels. So it will caption 24/7, 365, anything that we're feeding out. So that's city meetings, public access, education access, anything that goes through that system will be closed captioned and go to AT&T UVerse, i3 Broadband, and Comcast. It will not record closed captioning to where we would upload a closed captioning file to YouTube. I will note that I don't know if you've ever used the built-in closed captioning on YouTube, but it also has improved over the years. So if you're ever watching one of our YouTube videos, there's a little CC logo down there in the bottom, closed captioning, and you click on that, and it's pretty accurate as well. So in some instances, it's already available on YouTube. It's just not something that we advertise, just because we'll be happy to have that on the channel once it's on there.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay, moving on to commissioners' comments. Do we have any, does anyone have any comments, or would our new incoming commissioner like to say anything?
Just to say we sure appreciate through this terrible year of COVID and where you've had to adjust to things on the fly to have kept the station thriving through this last year. Kudos. I know that recorded graduation, the high quality of it also just means so much to the whole community. So thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that's one of my favorite events all year. It's always on a Memorial Day weekend, or I think at least 13 of the last 14 years it's been on Memorial Day weekend. But I don't mind missing a little getaway or family time or whatever normal people do, watching the Indy 500. If you're Mark Schultz, I know he's a big fan, but I'm happy to have time out there and watch that graduation, and then also provide it for other people to watch.
Yeah, I'll also I'll pile on Carol's comment. There's a few things that we've discovered that we really needed, that we thought were luxuries, that we really ended up really needing over the last year or so. And it turns out the video production for the city is, I think now would be very clearly recognized as an important a very important component of the expertise that you guys have. So good job on having it when it was needed and being able to bring it to bear on all the city needs that they had over the last year. All right, Dale, anything to add?
No additional comments from me except to thank Carol again for her service, and I know she's been on the commission for longer than I have been, and so it's very much appreciated.
All right, our next regularly scheduled meeting will be September 10th, 2021 at noon in the City Council chambers. We are expecting it to be in City Council chambers at that time, so barring any new catastrophes, I will see you guys all in person, and any audience members that care to come by. That's noon on September 10th, which is a Friday. All right. Having no other business, this meeting is adjourned.